We're here today with Steve Cunningham in the Nashua chapter of IMC Club. It's the most active chapter we have, and we're here to congratulate him. And we're also here home to Nashua Flight Simulator. And I just want to ask Steve some questions. Congratulations, Steve. You got a great chapter here. Why do you think you're so successful? Why are you such an active chapter? You've just been doing very well.
Well, I think it's indicative of the airport here at Nashua. It's had a long history of being very active, particularly in a training and a safety aspect, and it's long been recognized as probably one of the most active general aviation airports in the Northeast.
And how do you feel the concept of the IMC clubs is for safety?
Absolutely essential in terms of safety. We find it very useful to introduce some concepts, particularly in instrument flying, that you don't get in the normal aspect of training. Anomalies that happen all the time, whether it has to do with a no radio situation or a no plate situation. How do you handle being diverted to an area where you don't happen to have plates, and how do you go about doing it, and learning to use ATC as part of your cockpit resource management.
Where are the meetings held? Are they here?
Meetings are held right here in this facility, in a meeting room down the hall.
You have some pilots that are not instrument rated, they're just working on it as well, or some private pilots that are still VFR, or is it mostly instrument rated?
We have a wide variety of pilots. We probably have half a dozen or so that are either working on their instrument rating or want to earn an instrument rating. And then we have everything from citation drivers down to Cessna 172 drivers or 150 drivers.
And how often do you meet? Do you have a particular night that you meet? Once a month, twice a month? We now meet once a month on the second Wednesday of every month. Heretofore, though, we were meeting twice a month, and it began to become a little bit of a challenge for me to keep the meeting fresh and meaningful. So we decided that it made sense that we would shift to once a month. Yeah, Steve, could you tell us about the mix in your groups, the diversity, the women, the young, old? It's everything, huh?
Yes. Again, the complement of our membership and that's attracted to the IMC club here in Nashua ranges from we've got a citation pilot with I don't know 16,000 hours. He also happens to fly a 150 in instruments frequently as well. A number of twin drivers, twin Cessnas, pressurized and unpressurized, as well as the complex singles and the fixed singles. And as I mentioned earlier, we have half a dozen or more women that are regularly active in the club, and I know at least two of them are non-instrument rated pilots, but wishing to get or looking to earn their instrument rating. And then we have other people that drop in from time to time that are just VFR type pilots.
Steve, would you tell us a little bit about how you came up into aviation and about your experience?
Well, I'm not sure. I can't ever remember not wanting to fly. I do remember an incident back when I was about 4 or 5 years old, just at the end of World War II, out in the front yard in a rural area in New York, and one of our neighbors flew over, and well, we used to say it was a Piper Cub, but it was really Tailorcraft, and I could see him. So from that time on, I was enamored with flight. Didn't get into it until much later in life. I was in the Air Force and a mechanic in the Air Force, worked on jet fighters, and was attached to aviation by the hip, but I never really got into the cockpit until I was in my 40s. And then once I got in, Katie barred the door. There was nothing stopping me, and it's the rest, I guess, is history now. As I mentioned, I served for a period of time as the president and CEO of the United States Aerobatic Team. I ran Old Rhinebeck Aerodrome, among other things.
So I know you mentioned about keeping a meeting once a month because you can keep it fresh. That's a pretty good idea. We've been trying to do a couple times a month, and sometimes you need to you want to get a fresh speaker in there, or fresh topic. So
You may be starting a trend for us.
Well, it came to us by default, frankly, in an attempt to keep the meeting fresh and meaningful. I do have a lot of support from the group and the membership, and I'll send out a query to people, and I'll get 2 or 3 suggestions, and they will put the entire PowerPoint together and prepare the whole thing and make the presentation and lead the group. So we're very fortunate in that respect. But we wanted to make sure that it had some real value and that people continue to keep coming. And I can only respond in the way I hear from the 40 or 50 or so people that are regularly active with our membership, is that they look forward to coming. And if and they're willing to participate. So if I ask them, we'll put something together and lead the group.
Steve, would you tell us a little bit about the operation you have up here?
Nashua Flight Simulator was formed with my partner, Rich Fernier, who's here, about a little over 4 years ago. Initially, we started out to be a training outlet for the casual pilot. And what we wanted to do was to provide the casual pilot with the same level of training that the pros receive. And with the impact of the economy and the rising gas prices, the casual pilot seems to drop off more. And we refocused our business to target the recurrent market, the men and women that have to have recurrent training once a year for insurance purposes. And that's the focus of Nashua Flight Simulator these days, and it's actually proven to be our benefit. In fact, we've had the best 3 months we've ever had during this sagging economy. But it does seem to be improving, and we're really excited about that.
Well, congratulations. Thank you. You're the most active chapter. We love it. You're making us look great. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.